I want to give all honor and all praise to the Most High in these last days. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. What's going on, peoples? Shalom, shalom. Quick question. What's worse? Words or deeds? Right? Words or deeds? Because what we're looking at today is the Israelites are being persecuted by their words. But the actions of these nations and what they have done to our people for centuries, it's starting to be manifested. The scripture says in the Apocrypha, the ungodly shall be manifest. Right? The works of the ungodly shall be manifest. That's today. The books are being opened, man. When you get into the book of Revelations, chapter 21, 13, chapter 20, 13, the Most High said that the books will be opened and their works, the works of the Israelites, but also the works of all the nations upon the earth, man. You know what I'm saying? And so there's this battle that's going on with words versus actions, right? Because the actions of the Israelites been on display for years, right? Anything we do is going to be slap dab into social media, and they're going to make sure that they're going to get your own people to condemn you just by words and actions, even actions. Because we did a lot of wicked stuff and still doing a lot of wicked stuff. When I say we, I'm talking about the Israelites that is not in the truth like that. But us Israelites that are in the truth, we are being persecuted over words. Now I'm gonna show you this clip, and this is the reason why I'm saying it, because you know the small hat race has been hiding themselves under the banner of Ish, right? So everybody can glorify these people as the chosen people of God. But we gotta look at actions of the past, right? We have to look at actions of the past, man. So I want to show you this clip, man, because in this clip, there's a professor. I can't get his name. This is an old clip back in the 90s. This is an old clip back in the 90s. And he's talking about how the Ish people, the small hats, was financing the slave ships, was highly involved in the transatlantic slave trade movements. You know, sending people to different parts of the islands. All this stuff got to come out, man. You know, all this stuff got to come out. That's why we're gonna stay on these cats. You know, we're gonna stay on them. But anyways, there's a hidden hand that's been God in our lives for a long time. And this is kind of what, you know, Ye was bringing out, Kanye West was bringing out on Dream Champs, that there's been a hidden hand. You know, God in the way we think, God in the way God in the way we use our voice, and who do we direct our voice to? God on how we perceive everything. God in our education. There's been a hidden hand, bro. There's been a hidden hand, Doc. There's been a hidden hand, sisters. That's been God in our lives. Right? Now, I want y'all to hear this brother real quick, because he's going to break some stuff down about how highly involved the small hat race is, or was in the transatlantic slave trade. Since they say, oh, we did nothing, all we did was experience much sufferings. And it's like, you would have thought that we have experienced nothing, the way they talk about how bad they experience whatever they experience, right? It's like their sufferings come first over everybody in this world. But now we about to find out that they was a part of the Holocaust of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You know, we're gonna show that right now, though. So I'll get back with you. Let's dig into this clip.
Yes, it is true. We now know that Jews were very importantly involved in the slave trade in medieval times, both, as Professor Clark has said, in the East, in the Arabic areas, and also in Europe. That is even before our African slave trade to the Americas. Yes, it is true, as we now know, the Jews were the ones who invented what came to be known as white slavery, whereby Jewish entrepreneurs in Europe in the late 19th century prostituted their own Jewish women, sent them around the world as prostitutes, what came to be known as white slavery. Yes, it is true, as we now know, the Jews were heavily invested in the Dutch West India Company. The Dutch West India Company, that company which was a private corporation doing the job of colonizing, which was responsible in large measure for the African slave trade. The Dutch West India Company that owned the Elmina Fort in what is now Ghana. The Dutch West India Company that brought slaves from Africa to the Caribbean, to South America. The same Dutch West India Company that brought the first slaves to New York when it was still New Amsterdam. Yes, it is true, as we now know, that the Jews were the major element in the slave trade in Brazil in the 1600s, in Suriname, in Curacao, in Barbados, in Jamaica. Yes, it is true, as we now know, that the two largest single shipments of slaves coming into this country in the 18th century were on ships owned by Jews. It is true, as we now know, that Aaron Lopez, biggest slave ship owner in the United States of America, was a Jew. It is also true, as we now know, that all the rum distilleries in Newport, Rhode Island, in the era of the slave trade were owned by Jews. Rum, as we know, was a very important item in the transatlantic slave trade. Yes, it is true, as we now know, that there was a higher per capita ownership of slaves in the United States of America by Jews than by white Gentiles. We now know from the 1830 census of the US of A that something like 75% of Jewish households own slaves, as opposed to just 30-odd% for the white population as a whole. All of this information is contained in the secret relationship between blacks and Jews. And all of this information is based on the work of Jewish historians. So how come that we have a situation, an amazing situation developing here, where the Jewish leadership in this country is trying to deny the undeniable? And the only reason why the Jewish leadership has been able to place itself into this untenable and indefensible position, it seems to me, is because they have become drunk with power. They have gotten into the habit of easy victories over our people. Professor Clark said no more easy victories. They have won some easy victories in the past, and they have become so drunk with the power coming out of those easy victories, and have become so arrogant and so conceited that they have come to the point now where they believe that they can in fact defend the indefensible. The Jeffries case has shown that the time has come to an end, that from now on they will be forced to deal on an intellectual level with an aroused black community And once we force them to deal on an intellectual level, the Jeffries case has shown, and I hope that my case will show, that they cannot win.